Hello Libra, thank you for tuning into your love read. For the main part of the read, I'm using the They Lima Tarot by Renata Lechner. For the supportive oracle cards, I'm using the Magical Spell cards by Lucy Cavendish. See if I can get the glare off of that. Alright, already shuffled. Relationship first, single second, oracle cards come out as needed. The world popped out during the shuffling, and I'm seeing it pop up on your partner side, and I feel like it's a really good thing for you. Because I'm getting, there's a transition here, and I feel like your partner is getting to that part where there's a transition coming in this relationship with you. Was it with you or in their life? I feel like it's more with you. And I'm getting, I thought I heard something over to the side. That's okay. I'm getting something is, weighing on them because they're moving forward and they're nervous, but this is like, even if you've been with this person a long time, there's like a movement forward. It's like they're getting that, it's like the alarm clock is going off. And they're feeling like it's time to go through some, like either there's like a move or like, for some of you, I actually feel like a reestablishing of vows or something like that. It's almost like they want to make note of this time because it seems like things are changing. Like, I don't know if like you have kids leaving the nest or something like that. Even if you've been with this person a long time, they're going through a transition. And for some of them, I feel like your partner is losing somebody in their life, somebody in their blood family, if you want to put it like somebody who's they grew up with, let's put it that way. And they're going through a transition, and I feel like this seems to be evolving your relationship with them because they feel like they're coming closer to you, they're getting tighter with you over it. This transition, this world movement is the challenge card for them. And they have to trust that things are okay and that it's good to move forward. But I'm getting like this seems to be like a problem for them. And I almost feel like you might be questioning why they're viewing it like a whole new phase. But I feel like to them, it's like they're making some type of emotional advancement. Like, they seem to be viewing you a little differently than they were before. And I feel like that still might be a little confusing to you. So I'm trying to get to, like, what we're saying here. Because I feel like they're actually getting to that part where if it wasn't apparent before, or if it wasn't in their forefront of their thoughts before, they're looking at you like you're going to be the one with them to the end of their life. And they're making some type of transition to where they're making that very apparent where they're looking to take care of you in the event if one of you passes first, they want to make sure if they pass first, you're taken care of. That seems really that seems really detailed and really, I'm getting this is it though. That's their challenge card. They seem to be having a mortality thing going on here. And they want to make sure like you realize that they're looking to stay with you to the end of their life. Whichever one of you passes first, they expect to either be there at the end of your life or you at the end of theirs, vice versa. They don't ever expect you to leave their life. They never plan for this to end. It seems like a transition thing. There's some type of mortality thing going on with them, and it seems to be like almost, I don't know if somebody close to them passed or for some reason they're really having this mortality moment where they're like, this is the person I'm going to be with to the end of my life. I have to make sure that they realize that and that we're taking care of each other, that we're making those plans. For some of you, they might be coming forward with like a will and like showing you what the will says, something like that. It feels very morbid. I gotta be honest, I did not expect that to come through. Where they're standing is the Empress. They're looking to make sure you're taken care of, and they want you to know how they feel. They want to make sure that you're very well aware that like whatever's happened in the past, they feel they're going to be with you to the end of this life, and they're just wanting to make sure you're aware of it. They want to make sure that you're both on the same page. They don't seem to question you being on the same page with them. They want to make sure you know how they feel. They're looking out for you. They want to make sure you're taken care of. But I feel like it's vice versa, but they're making sure that you're aware of this. Your challenge card is the King of Cups. It's a little morbid. I feel like this is a little morbid. Now, this can definitely go different roads, some type of transition, but I'm getting it's like you might be looking at this like it's a little awkward. I feel like you're looking at it like it's very emotional. Your partner has a very emotional connection to you. They want to make sure you realize how much you mean to them. There's like some type of emotional advancement on their side. They're just really like, they want you to know. They want you to know how important you are to them. It seems really important. And I feel like your challenge card is the King of Cups. To just be okay with the emotion coming at you, I'm feeling it could be a little bit jarring. It could be a little bit jarring. It might take you off kilter a little bit. You might be a little surprised at the amount of emotion coming at you. And it might be one of those things where you're like, I was thinking that anyway, but why are you coming at me so intensely? And they're like, no, I need you to know. I'm getting because they've made an emotional jump forward, and they're like, they're just connecting with this emotion so strongly that they just have to make sure you know it's very important to them. And I feel like you might be like, I was already there anyway. I was already in that spot anyway. I already felt that way anyway. But I don't know, it seems like they're taking an emotional advancement forward. Are we good? Okay. They're like, we can move on from that part. You also have the Hierophant. Like, you're not running and screaming away from them. Like, oh my God, leave me alone. But I feel like you're taking it with a grain of salt. I'm seeing like your partner talk with you, and you're just kind of like, okay, all right, okay. You're not negating them out in any sense. I don't feel that, but I feel like you're just kind of like, oh, okay, all right. The Hierophant makes me feel like you're just kind of going along with it. I feel like you're a little shaken, I have to be honest. But you're just kind of absorbing it. You're just like, okay, this isn't bad. Okay, all right. And I'm getting like, this seems to be just kind of pulling in. And I feel like you're just kind of absorbing this information. You might be questioning a little bit of it. Like, why now? Why are you doing this? Like what's the big deal? Because I feel for a lot of you were already there yourself, and you already thought they were there. The fact that they're telling you now, you're just kind of like, you might be questioning, like, well, if you're feeling that way now, how did you feel before? Like, I mean, it's not like alarming you, because clearly you can depend on them, but you're like, I thought I could depend on you before. Like, you might be like, what is the deal? I'm getting going forward, the Nine of Wands with the friendship, like, I feel like you're just trying to keep a lid on it. You're just trying to keep it from getting out of control. Your partner seems a little over emotional to you is what I'm getting. A little too much. And you're just kind of like, I feel like the Nine of Wands is saying, at first you kind of want to know what's inspiring this moment, but I feel like you soon after move to the spot with like, you know what, it's fine. If they want to tell me, they can tell me. The emotion is really too strong for me right now. If they want to tell me, great. If they don't, that's fine. And I feel like the friendship card is like, you're just being nice to them. You're reiterating like you're in the same spot as they are. You're going along with whatever, like if it's some type of like will, they want to make sure you're in the will. If they're like if there's something they're just doing to make sure that you realize you're taking care of it, for God forbid they go first or whatever it is, you're going along with it, you're just doing it, you're like, okay, that's a good idea, that makes sound judgment to me, I feel like that's a good idea. But the friendship card is like, I don't feel like you're over questioning it, you're just kind of going along and you're just kind of appeasing the situation, because I feel like it's a little intense. I just feel like it's a little intense. And spiritually, you have the Moon card there. You're just really not sure where it's coming from, but you're like, you know what? That may be okay. If they want to tell me, great, but I don't feel like I really want to dig it up. For some reason, I don't feel like you really want to dig it up. You're just kind of like, maybe just let it be how it is. Now, I'm getting your reaction, or the way you're reacting seems to be affecting your partner, kind of like the Nine of Wands here, like they're putting things in motion just in case. Like the 9 is an ending card usually, in my opinion. Because I've seen people see this different ways. But for me, the 9 is at the end. That's like the last digit, the last single digit, if you want to say. They're putting things in order so that they feel very secure that this situation is going to last. It is a little bit morbid still. It feels a little bit morbid. Like for some of you, it might not come across as morbid, but this the way they're coming at you. I feel like they're securing this in. I mean, this definitely can go different ways, but they're just kind of tying this up the way they feel is necessary. And I'm getting like spiritually, they have the Page of Cups. Like the subject or the reason they're coming towards you, like it's bittersweet. They just want to make sure you know how much they feel for you. And I just feel like there's like a mortality question here for them. And they just want to make sure everything's okay, that everything's on point, that you feel the way they feel. I feel something shook them, but it seems like it's more of a mystery. And I feel like you're not wanting to really delve into that mystery. If they want to tell you, great, but I feel like you're purposely not, because it seems like something might be a little bit over the top there. They are cementing in these plans, though. They're standing in a spot with the 10 of Pentacles. They're feeling very secure. They felt like they needed to do this. They feel very secure doing it. It seems conducive. The 9 of Cups, even though you're not questioning it, the 9 of Cups is telling me you're very happy and you're very secure. Even if you're having that moment where you're like, oh, well, I kind of thought we were already at this point anyway. But the fact that you're telling me is like we obviously are at this point, so maybe you just wanted to make sure that I knew it. You're feeling secure. You're feeling happy. The relationship is good. This is a good thing. I mean, it's kind of a little awkward is what I'm getting, but it's fine. And I'm getting what actually might help you in this situation is maybe to be a little bit more proactive in the sense of like, for example, if they want to make sure that you're included on maybe their 401k or something like that to make, like, God forbid they pass first, that you're taken care of, what would actually make this better is like if you could reciprocate the same thing. Like, oh, okay, well, I'll make sure that you're included on this. God forbid something happens to me, that you'll be taken care of and you can make sure things are okay. It feels, this is a really morbid reading I'm getting, but just gotta go with it. Now, what helps them is once they have all of this in place, they've told you how they felt, they made sure everybody was on the same page, they've put their plans into motion, they feel secure with that, prosperity is there, the Queen of Pentacles. The Queen of Pentacles, I feel like it's just everything is set, everything is in line, they feel like everything is secure. I'm getting they're going to kind of move on from it. For some reason, I feel like this whole thing is about they just want you to know how much you mean to them and that they're looking out for you. It seems very important to this person. For some of you, I have to say, your partner is having some type of health scare, and they're not telling you. I don't feel like it's going to become anything. For some of them, it's somebody in their family, their bloodline. For example, like there's cancer in their bloodline, or you know what I mean? Like somebody is going through a cancer scare, or somebody is going through some type of other medical problem that I feel like it's just like making them really feel like they have to make sure everything is taken care of. Some of them may actually have their own cancer scare and they're just not telling you unless something actually comes of it. They're having some tests done, but they're not telling you. And that's what this is all about. But if that's the case, I feel like it's going to be benign. I think that's the right word I want to use. Like there's nothing there, there's no problem, and they're just letting it go. It's just very interesting. I feel like it's a little bit different. I know that this will go to the people that are supposed to see it, and if it means something to you, great. I understand that this can go in different ways. It doesn't have to be this morbid like it feels, but the whole thing about this, the biggest thing is your partner wants you to know how they feel about you. It's extremely important to them. Good? Alright, I feel like we got the point. Alright, I'm going to let that be what it is. Let's do Libra single. Messages for single Libra. Messages for single Libra. Empowering information for single Libra. Empowering information for single Libra. Empowering information for single Libra. Ooh. Okay. Okay. I'm getting a card in here. Let me just shuffle these a little bit before I start opening my mouth about that, because I want to get this here, because I already feel what this one card's about. Which, you know, you have to decide for yourself how good or bad that really is. Alright, so in the center I'm seeing a card here that really seems to be... I'm getting like... I'm getting passion here. And I'm getting the Devil card is expressing that passion, but it's right with the Two of Swords. See, what I'm seeing going on for the single Libra that this is connecting for, the single Libras that this is connecting for, somebody has let you know in the past here, fairly recent is what I'm getting, that they do like you, that they're very attracted to you. Now, I'm getting here, for whatever reason, this reminds me of actually Gemini. I feel like it's kind of similar. It's, even though they've showed you that that's the case, you're not really sure what you can really do with that. You got the Moon card here is for where you're standing. You're like, I don't really know what I can do with that. And the Devil card with the Two of Swords is like, I feel like there's a worry here. There's like, the Devil card is a major arcana, so I don't know if you can get around it, but something, it could be from, it could be as minimal as a kiss, but it feels like a physical moment to where I'm getting you feel the line has been crossed, but the Two of Swords is telling me there's nothing you seem to want to do about it. Like, the line has been crossed, but it's just, there's nothing you can seem to do about it. Whatever it was that happened, it seems like there's some type of passionate moment. I'm getting the Devil card, but it seems like the line has been crossed, and you're just kind of like, it's kind of deer in the headlights. There's just like, there's nothing, you're just like, it happened, and you're just like, you're just kind of like stuck. That Two of Swords is making me feel like there's just, you don't know, there's nothing to do with it. It happened. The line was crossed. It could be as minimal as a kiss. It could actually be a hug for some of you, just to where a physical line was crossed, and you're just like, this should not have happened. I feel like that's where you're standing. Like, this should not have happened. And I'm getting you are having that reaction to the situation. I'm also getting the other side is really getting that's how you feel. They don't know what to do. They don't know what to do now, because they're seeing that you're so uncomfortable, and the line has already been crossed, and they're just like, I feel like they're not doing anything. It's almost like the line has been crossed, and then all of a sudden, like, nothing has happening. Neither of you are doing anything about it, but the tension is definitely there. Now, I'm getting what's happening here is like, you seem to be just kind of like non-reacting to it. It's like the line has been crossed. Neither of you seem to be talking or doing anything right after that moment. But the Temperance is telling me you're going to have to do something, because I'm getting, even though neither of you are actually doing anything right after that moment, you're not going towards each other, you're not communicating right away, but that Knight of Swords, and I feel like this is you. You're like, we have to like somehow resolve this. It's happened. There's tension. It just seems like ignoring it. I feel like you're looking at this like, it'd be nice if that was an option, but that's not an option. A line was crossed and it has to be addressed. The two of you have to address it. And I feel like you're you're really reluctant to do so, but you're feeling like you have to say something, you have to talk this out with this person. You really, really don't want to, but you feel like you must, because if you don't, you're afraid about where that's going to go. That seems to scare you more. If you don't talk about it and you're just like left in the land of wonderment, like what they're doing with this moment, that's worse. That seems a lot worse. And what I'm getting is you seem to be finding a way to have a safer, comfortable spot to actually talk this out with this person. You got coming forward next the Star card with the mermaid. What is it? The mermaid magical seduction. You're trying to talk this out. I don't feel like you really. I don't know. It seems like it's going farther. It's getting closer. The passion is there. The Star card is like, maybe there's a way to make this work out. I'm getting a little bit of a moon glow here. You got the moon where you're standing. Like, I feel like you're kind of having a little bit of a fantasy moment here. You're kind of glazing over the reality of the situation. Now, I don't know how that sounds coming through a reading, but I feel like they're warning about this moment in the future. Like, you're going to get caught up in the moment, and I feel like the line may have already been crossed, and I feel like that's kind of advancing even farther here. So if this reading is hitting with you, and you don't want that happening, just be forewarned, like, that talk could actually, there's chemistry here. If this reading's hitting, there is chemistry there, line was crossed, you didn't talk about it at first, you're deciding you have to talk about it, you really don't want to, but you feel like you have to. You're getting caught up in the moment again, because they feel like you want to talk this out in a safe spot where nobody can hold it against you. You don't want anybody overhearing what you're talking about, but it also puts you in a spot where inhibitions might not hold you back, for whatever that means for you. Now, that moment happens. Seems like this is the second moment. The line's already been crossed, so this happening, it just seems like it just kind of happens. Whatever it is, just kind of happens. From there, things just, it's like a runaway train. You got the Eight of Wands with the fertility. It just seems like the two of you, just the chemistry just seems to take a life of its own, and the situation just happens. It just happens, and you just keep going forward with it. So I feel like this reading might be warning you, once that line is crossed, it just might be too late. Because I feel like this is just on it, especially because that Devil card is a major arcana, and then you get the Star card, another major arcana, the Moon card down here. You got some major things. You got a lot of major energy coming through here. I feel like you might just want to like find a way to protect yourself, or just be, I don't know. I'm getting like, if you just see where this is going, you could just kind of like prepare yourself for where you're headed. I'm getting, if you see where this is going, think about it ahead of time. Like, once this line is crossed, if this is coming at you at the right time, the line is crossed, but before that moment in the future where you've decided you have to talk this out, think it through. If this goes forward, what does that mean, and what are you going to have to weather? What are you going to have to deal with? Because I'm getting, like, it seems like this is going to take a life of its own, and you're just going to end up on this rush, and like this roller coaster rush, it's just going to take off, and woo, there it goes. So, but if you see it ahead of time, what you're going to have to deal with, if you think about it ahead of time, what you're going to have to deal with, if it goes forward, you'll be ready to get through it. I feel like it's going to happen. I feel like it's like out of your control. It's just like the moment just takes over. The passion just draws you in. And things just go forward, and it just happens. Is there anything else we need for this? Alright, I think the message came across. I feel like it's warning you about what's about to happen. I feel like it's like there's going to be a moment where the line is crossed, and that moment, between that moment where the line is crossed and the moment where you decide you have to talk it out, there's like a limbo moment there. They're saying, like, really think it through about what this means if this happens, if this becomes more, and what you're going to have to deal with, so you can plan ahead about what you need to do for that. If you do that, you'll see it's the best case scenario on how you can handle it. Because if you think it through ahead of time, you can prepare yourself for what you're about to get into. Because I'm getting once that talk happens, because I feel like you want it to be private, you don't want people overhearing it, and you want it to be safe to where you feel you both can honestly express how you feel. It just clicks, and I feel like this takes a life of its own. For some reason, it just feels like a line is crossed, and it's just gonna. You're reluctant at first, but the passion takes over. All right, I'm gonna let that be. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, go ahead, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. Thank you.